Right, so I've opened Anconk again and just loaded the files. Everything else is new. By quitting Anconk, I got rid of all the settings which we previously installed. Okay, I hope you'll forgive me my voice. It's one of these very hot days in the middle of summer here, but anyway, I'll try and keep on going. The next thing I want to look at is the keyword list tool, because a frequency list, like we have with word list, remember, just a raw frequency list, this is useful, but we know that these words are frequent, but what does that mean if they're frequent? If we see that, for example, have 229 occurrences, is that a lot or not? What does it mean? Well, this is the kind of thing which you can attempt to answer with the keyword tool. Now, the keyword tool, maybe it's better if I show you and then I can explain it as we go along. So choose keyword list, go into settings, tool preferences, keyword list. Now, use a word list here and add files. Okay, so this will take us back to where is it, in desktop on your Bureau. One of the things you should have downloaded is the BNC word list. So click that and open it. Okay, now we want to load. Now loading takes quite a long time. Wait until the little, as you can see here, it's in the form of a watch. It might be an hourglass on yours. Wait until that changes form and that loaded here is checked. Okay. Why does it take so long? Well, it's because we're going to be comparing our corpus to our corpus of personal feedback text to the British National Corpus. Now, our corpus has 30,000 words. The British National Corpus is 100 million words, so it's a lot bigger. Now, if you wanted to compare two parts of your corpus, that would be very simple because they're small corpora. But if you want to compare against 100 million words, that's too big and Anconk will crash. But fortunately, some kind person has created a list from the BNC, which is not 100 million words, it's just a list of all of those words and their frequencies. And we can use that, which saves a lot of processing power. If you want to compare within your own corpus, for example, in our personal feedback corpus, you might say to yourself, is there any difference between the students who completed this in the first year and the students in the last year over a 5-year period? So you could simply open only the files from 2040 and use as a raw file reference corpus the files which are 2018. So hopefully, I should have timed this right. It should be marking loaded any second now, with a bit of luck, but we shall see. Pause, go and have a cup of coffee, and when he comes back, it'll be loaded, hopefully. Even in a word list form, 100 million words is a big list to bring down to the format here. If you do look at it, BNC word list, you'll see that first most frequent word is the, of, and, etc. But it goes all the way down to these are all the words here which occur only once in the corpus, and sometimes they're gibberish because you do get non-words in a corpus. But even things like Vermoral, different spellings. Vermögensteuer, interesting, bit of German in there. Vermeersch, looks Dutch to me. So all of these words, they're called hapax legomena, words which occur only once in the corpus, and there are a lot of them. Usually in corpus, you will find that about half the words probably occur only once. And all the other words, actually, we can check that if we go down to just the end of where it says to. Right, so these words occur twice, and we're just over a third of the way down. Okay, but we can close that. And if we come back to tool preferences now, we can see that it has finally loaded. We no longer have the little hourglass figure. So using a word list, we've added the word list file and apply. Okay, so we have our corpus in here, and we've just loaded a reference corpus. So the basic question we're asking ourselves is, how frequent are the words in our corpus compared to the British National Corpus, a corpus of general British English? So if we click Start, it will tell us. So the corpus, remember there are 311 occurrences in our corpus, is the most statistically most frequent word in our corpus compared to the BNC. Okay. Also, I. Now remember, this is only the personal feedback section, so I'm asking you to talk about what you think. So it's perhaps not surprising that there's a lot of I in the personal feedback corpus compared to the BNC. Anconc, linguistics, corpora, my, again the first person, research, topic, tutorials, tool, etc. These are words which are statistically more frequent than you would expect by chance. It gives you a keyness value. Now the keyness value for corpus is 3,703. What does this mean? If you click on settings, tool preferences, we're still in keyword list, we've chosen log likelihood. If you want to know what log likelihood means, go onto Wikipedia and type it in. You could choose chi-squared instead, but log likelihood is probably better for most purposes. Okay, so these words are statistically more frequent than we would expect by chance in our corpus. In a reference corpus. So it tells us really what our corpus is about, corpus and linguistics corpora. You can see what your texts are talking about quite quickly. And of course, you can scroll down here. Okay, so it's not just the raw frequency which tells you, it's raw frequency compared to the frequency of the BNC. Okay, the words which occur only once could be chance. So you probably don't particularly want to only be interested in words which occur once. If you want to look for a particular word in this list, if you click down here in the little window, you can search for a word like YouTube. Doesn't help. But if you put in YouTube search only, you'll see where it is. It's in 22nd position, 17 times, a keyness value of 271. Okay, what else do we need to know about the keyword list? I think that's probably just about all. So let's stop that there and we'll come back then for another tool. The next tool we'll be looking at is the clusters engrams tool.